Hey guys, it's Emma here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you our boat being taken out of the water to get blacked. But let's go! So narrowboats generally need to be blacked sort of every 2 to 3 years. We were planning on getting our boat blacked a little while ago, but since we're sort of locked down and everything, obviously things got delayed. So we booked this in sort of last year. Our boat was blacked about 3 years ago, so it was a bit longer than we did want to leave it. But now luckily we are. So here is our boat sort of getting pulled out of the water and into the dock. Some marinas will actually use cranes to get boats sort of out of the water. They didn't use it here. They just sort of pulled us out. I guess you could say this railway type thing, which actually looked really cool. And some you cruise into and then they drain the water out. So here is the boat after being jet washed. I didn't film them actually sort of jet washing it just because of social distancing and everything, but it just looks obviously a bit less dirty than it was when it originally, before it got jet washed. And you can see how much our blacking needs replacing with all sort of the scratches and sort of the blacking just coming off. So there are two types of blacking paints. There's bitumen, which needs sort of recoating every 2 to 3 years, which we're getting. But there's also epoxy, which can last up to about 7. We chose the bitumen just because it's on our boat before, and we'd rather sort of take it out sort of every 2 to 3 years just to check up on the hull since it is an older boat. We're getting 3 coats done for our boats. We want to make sure it lasts for the next few years. And you can actually do this yourself. You can just hire the dry dock or whatever dock and do it yourself. But since this is our first time sort of blacking our boat and everything like that, we wanted to get it done by somebody who actually knew what they were doing. But in the next 2 to 3 years, and when we next get our boat out, we might think about it. So this is the ladder that we're going down. It luckily isn't sort of like a straightforward ladder. It has some steps, but going down it the first few times was a bit scary. Our dogs didn't massively like it. Luckily one of them, Teddy Bear, he is quite good at jumping around, so he managed to get down pretty good. Susie, my dog, we just picked her up and sort of carried her down. We're only booked in here for 4 days, so it's not long for them, and soon they can be back on their towpath. Also, there's hookup here, which is actually really exciting, so we can charge things freely without having to worry about sort of batteries. The hookup was great in theory, but Wi-Fi was quite bad there, so we couldn't get on much. There was also a water point here, which we did end up filling up sort of a few days before we left. And here is the boat with its first coat of blacking on. It's already starting to look much better than it did sort of when it came out of the water. We only have 2 coats to go now. They sort of do a coat sort of each day. And obviously, again, I can't film it just because of social distancing and everything. I also don't want to get in their way. But yeah. So in the marina there was actually 2 swans building a nest for spring, which was really cute. Here's some footage of that. I will play it now. We really recommend the Ashby Canal Centre if you are thinking of getting a boat blacked and you're around the area. They're really great and they were super nice. So while we were here, we got all 4 anodes sort of changed. Now, if you don't know what anodes are, they're basically something that you weld onto the boat, and it attracts the rust to itself than sort of the hull. So obviously the hull won't rust, and these will instead. You can see which one is new and which one is old, and it's actually really good. We got the boat out at a good time. Before sort of they completely went away, but now we'll be good for another 3 years. And the old ones were the ones that we put on when we first bought the boat, when it first came out of the water, to get a hull survey and everything. So they, as you can see, they don't last insanely long, so that's why you do want to check on sort of your anodes every few years. Now here is the second coat of blacking on our boat. I won't show the third one just because it basically looks the same, but this is what the boat looks like, all fully blacked, and our new shiny anodes, which look really cool. The hull is in pretty good shape. We might get it checked out sort of next time we get it taken out the water, but here is a little dent that's on the boat. We're not 100% sure if it was there before we bought it or after. I personally think that we did it after we got the boat. It obviously doesn't look too bad and nothing will really happen. So here is us being taken back into the water. Now us getting blacked, so the hull blacking, including the pressure washing the hull and applying sort of the 3 coats and also getting taken out of the water, was about £441. And the anodes being supplied and fitted cost about £145. So here is us back in the water. We're glad to be back in the water. I think we're not suited for the air. But I want to also say a big thank you to my new patron, Going Places with Gundry. He also has a YouTube channel and Instagram. It's the same name as I just said. I definitely recommend you check him out. He's really cool. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I do a video. And come onto my social medias, my Patreon, and my Gmail, thenaroboatgirl@gmail.com, if you have any suggestions for me. And you also do can I post suggest if you'd like some of your letters. But yeah, see you later. Bye!